tell me a little bit about then, once you decided, okay, I'm moving to Utah, what does that path look like to your first Olympics? Because I have to imagine there's a lot of people that are good at something. Now let's just take Winter Olympics, because Salt Lake and Lake Placid are the only two cities in the nation that's ever held an Olympics for a Winter Olympics. So we're the only two facilities that have, for instance, a bobsled run, right? Only two bobsled runs in all of America, Lake Placid, Salt Lake. So Salt Lake and Lake Placid probably are pretty good breeding grounds for potential Winter Olympians. What does that path look like for you, the time you move here and commit to the Olympics? Because I'm sure there's a lot of people that move here and don't make it to the Olympics, right?
Right.
So what does it look like for you?
Yeah, so I moved when I'm 18. I had just made the World Cup team for the first time, so that means there's 6 World Cups that happen in a season. So I made the team that would travel to the first 4.
Oh, wow.
And I was living in Southern California at the time. So, the team kind of travels together. We're kind of one unit, especially when you get to the World Cup level. And I just kind of reached a point where I needed to be around a team where I was going to get pushed.
Got it.
And I was going to be around experience and knowledge and have teammates around me to bring me to the next level as I could bring them. So I decided to make the move out here and, started training with the best in the U.S. You had Olympians, world champions, World Cup medalists.
Yeah.
We were all on the same team.
Right.
So when I was thrust into that environment, it really kind of, switched my perception of training and the importance of being like an all-around athlete. Not only just training, but what I was doing outside of that as well.
Oh, makes sense.
We all kind of have our own little sayings. My dad always raised me on, he said, we established kind of, it's called setting the trend.
Yeah.
So it stands for training, rest, equipment, nutrition, desire. And those are the five things that I was working on. I always worked on, and I always worked on perfecting and, understanding. And so at a very early age, I understood that, but it was like the first time, I'm sorry if I'm going over.
No. The screen just blacked out, so I had to bring it back up.
Okay. But so it was the first time I had really been thrust into a situation where I had to practice those full on, and in order to get better and to be at the same level or better than the people that I was around here in Salt Lake.
Got it.
So that was really like I said, my first understanding, and then I started traveling. I started competing on World Cups. I actually won a medal at my first World Cup. It was a relay medal.
Wow.
But that's it's pretty. I had a super good team with around me. So
that's awesome. Where was that at?
That was in Vancouver,
actually,
and that was test ground for the Olympics 2010.
Very cool.
That would happen the next year. So my whole family came up and they got to see, and it was super cool.
That is super cool.
Yeah.
What were the 4 cities you said? You said there were 4 of 6.
Yeah. So I believe I went to Vancouver. The next one was here in Salt Lake.
Oh,
so
cool.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
And then I went to Beijing.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And then I went to Nagano, Japan.
Amazing.
Yep.
Wow.
So 4 Olympic cities. Obviously Vancouver was an Olympic city a year after, but I got to go out around and travel and experience, what it was like to compete on an international level.
That's amazing.
I got for some reason I was just like, not for some reason, I obviously worked really hard.
Right.
I was at the level I needed to be at, when I first started international competition, and that's just a testament to how strong the U.S. was at that time.
Got it.
Yeah.
Pushing each other. Are we still strong as the U.S.?
We're getting back there. We've definitely had a transition over the past, I'd say 2 Olympics.
Got it.
A lot of the older generation quit or retired and moved on and kind of made way for the newer generation to come up.
Gotcha.
We have huge breeding grounds right now for speed skating on the East Coast.
Okay.
Kind of the DMV area, Midwest, up in Garden State, New Jersey, and New York area is really popular now. So
interesting.
We're getting there.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I always when I watched the Olympics in the past, it always was U.S. and Korea that seemed to be the dominant ones. Are they still dominant, Korea?
Yeah, Korea. I mean, Korea has the most medals out of any country.
That's like
by
baseball,
far.
right?
Yeah, that's definitely one of their national sports. Like one of their main national sports.
Yeah.
It's they have it in elementary schools.
Got
It's
it.
something you do from when you're a little kid. They have all the way up through high school, through college. They have pro teams.
Gotcha.
So they have the infrastructure there to be able to raise elite level athletes.
Got
and,
it.
all the way from the time that they're little kids.
Right.
Kind of the same way that the Chinese do is they when they take the kids when they're very young out of the home and bring them into these training centers, and it's kind of along the same lines. It's like if you're kind of forced into that environment that early, it's like chances are going to be pretty good of you having success.
Exactly.
And we always called it it was like the breaking the egg method. So you throw 12 eggs against the wall, and the one that doesn't break is going to be world champion.
Right.
Just, and that's just, I mean, it's not even that. I mean, the depth that they have in South Korea for speed skating is just ridiculous.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I mean, they're one of the best. Canada, China, a lot of the European countries are starting to get really good.
Really? Okay.
And the Netherlands, Hungary.
Interesting.
And the U.S. we're getting back there to that point. So.
Cool. Okay. Very cool.